Hello viewers, welcome to my channel IIT JEE Olympiad and AP Physics with Ambarish. And from today I am starting to solve INPHO on the videos. So we'll start with INPHO 2020 question number 1. So here's the question. It's a question on thermodynamics, but it's a non-conventional sort of gas. So what's given? A certain gas obeys the equation of state U as a function of entropy, volume and number of particles as a s to the power 7 upon v to the power 4n square, where a is a dimension constant. Here U represents the internal energy of the gas, S is the entropy, and V is the volume, and N is the fixed number of particles of the system. Let such a gas be filled in a box of volume V and the internal energy of the system be U. A partition is placed to divide the box into two equal parts, each having volume V by 2. For each part the internal energy is now alpha U and the dimension constant be beta A. Obtained alpha and beta. So now this is a nice question on intensive and extensive properties. So you know that the total internal energy of the system is U. So when you put the partition, so each half has got U by 2 energy. So directly you can see directly from here that then alpha U should be equal to half of U. That means alpha should be equal to half straight away. And also you know that the dimension constants do not change with the extensive properties. For example, let's say you have PV is equal to nRT. So in that case, it doesn't matter how much is the volume and how much is the temperature, the value of R remains same. So dimension constant does not change. So what we can say that since A is given to be a dimension constant, should not depend on the value of any of the extensive properties like S, V or N, and therefore beta A should be equal to A, and therefore we can say beta is 1. And also the internal energy is an extensive property, so upon halving the quantity, its value should get halved. So we can say alpha U is U by 2 or alpha is equal to half. So that's the part A of the first question. Now moving on to the part B. So what was the part B? So it says that temperature T can be expressed in terms of derivative of internal energy as T is equal to du by ds at constant volume and number of particles. Now they have given this equation, but this equation is also obvious. We can derive this using simple logic, because see, when volume is constant, that means no work is being done. And that means whatever is heat is supplied, that should feature as the change in internal energy. So T ds will be equal to du. Alright, when V is constant, T ds will be equal to du. Of course, the system is fixed, so number of particles is anyway fixed. So T ds is du, so we can say T is du by ds at constant volume and number of particles. So this is the logic behind this equation, which they have already given, where the subscripts indicate that the differentiation has been carried out keeping V and N constant, and similar way express pressure in terms of derivative of the internal energy. Now when we want to express pressure, what we can see is that you know that PdV is the work done, and when no heat is supplied, then PdV is equal to du. So let's look at the equations in a little more detail. So when heat is not supplied, you know that dq is equal to Tds equal to 0, or we can say ds will be equal to 0, or we can say entropy will be constant. And when the entropy is constant, we can say that du is simply minus PdV, right, by first law of thermodynamics. Or we can say simply that pressure is minus del U by del V at constant entropy and constant number of particles. So this part was also fairly simple to guess. It was not very difficult, part B, and not very much mathematical manipulation either. Now moving on to part C. So part C is just an application of the formula derived in part B. So what's the part C? Part C is find the equation of state of the given system relating P, T and V. So we have to find the relation between pressure, volume and temperature. Like for ideal gas we have PV is equal to nRT, but here the equation of state is going to be different. So what we can do, so in the question, original question, it is given that internal energy varies as as to the power 7 upon v to the power 4n square. And from in the previous part, the temperature was given as del U by del S at constant V and constant number of particles. So all you need to do for finding temperature is just you differentiate this with respect to S, and you get temperature as a function of other variables. Okay, so so this is what you get, temperature in terms of entropy and volume. So this is the first thing that we can say about the temperature, okay, in terms of entropy and volume. Then we can also find the pressure. In the last part we had also derived pressure as pressure was minus del U by del V at constant entropy and N. So you just need to differentiate this with respect to volume and take the negative of that partial derivative, and then you get pressure. So now if you see equation 1 and equation 2, we have s to the power 6 over there and s to the power 7 over there. What are the other variables? Here there's a volume here, there's a volume here, and there's a temperature and there's a pressure. So we are just at the right spot. Just we can eliminate s and get the relation between P, V and T. So if you just do that elimination, this is the result that you get. So you'll get a very dirty constant in between. So we just don't want to get things messy. We don't want messy things. So we just put that constant as separate variable here. I mean a constant as a constant, which is a complicated expression, and we get, by eliminating s, this is what we get for the pressure, Ct to the power 7 by 6 by V to the power 1 by 3. Okay, where C is this complicated expression. All right. So that was part C. This is the equation of the state of the gas relating Pt and V. Now coming to part D. Part D was a little mathematical. There was plenty of mathematical manipulation in there. So let's look at part D, which was also related to part C. Some of the results in part C will be used in part D. So what was the part D? So this is the question. This is part D question. 1 mole of this gas executes a Carnot cycle between A, B, C, D, A, between the reservoir's temperatures T1 and T2. So the temperature over there is T1 and here the temperature is T2, that is given, and this is the Carnot cycle. Okay. Obtain the heat exchange in the process AB, that is QAB. What is the heat supplied here? And work done by the system in the processes AB and BC. We want to find out the work done between AB and BC. Express your answers only in terms of temperatures T1, T2 and volumes VA, VB and other constants. So we can just use temperatures T1 and T2 and VA and VB. So we need to eliminate other variables if they are coming in the solution. So what we can do, so finally if we want to find the work done, or let's say you want to find the heat supplied, so heat supplied will be found basically using TDS. You know that dq is equal to TDS for reversible processes, and work done is integral of PdV. So integral TDS will give us the heat and integral PdV will give us the work done. So let's look at the detailed solution for this one. So what are the things that we have already derived in the previous parts? We derived the expression for temperature, we derived the expression for pressure using the partial derivatives, and this is what we got for the pressure finally. This is the equation of the state that we derived in the part C. Okay, and this was the constant, that complicated expression that we got for the constant. And we also know that it was given in the question U is equal to AS to the power 7 V to the power 4 n square. This was given in the first part itself. Okay, so from what we can infer from this is S is 7 by 4 PV by T. Well, how we can get this? We can just divide this pressure and temperature, and we'll see, just you divide this pressure divided by this T. You know that here there is S to the power 7 and S to the power 6, so you'll just get 1S, and P by T, and you just simplify that, you get S is 7 by 4 PV by T. Okay. Similarly, you can see that the internal energy can be written as Q is equal to PV by 4. So you can see from here you can just see, take 1V over there, and rest of it, the expression is similar to the internal energy, right? AS to the power 7 upon V to the power 4 n square. So take 1V over there and then divide by 4, so you get this result. So U can be written as PV upon 4. Okay. So this will simplify our steps that we need to do. Still it's pretty complicated, but let's see how we can manipulate the expressions to get the final answer. Now QAB, from A to B, it's an isothermal process, so we can just say QAB is T1 integral of ds. Now what is the integral of ds? Now from here you can see S is 7 by 4 PV, so if you take T over there, so ds is nothing but 7 by 4 D of PV, that is P final V final minus P initial V initial, and temperature is of course outside, that is the constant temperature. So T1 into ds, that is 7 by 4 P final V final and minus P initial V initial from A to B. Okay, this is what you get. Okay, and then you can substitute pressure in terms of volume and temperature, because you have an expression of pressure through the equation of state. So pressure can be substituted in terms of temperature and volume. So temperature is of course T1 throughout AB, and volumes we can write VB and VA. So pressure we substitute and we get this as the heat supplied in the process A to B. So this is first thing that we had to calculate. So this is the first part, QAB. Then what about the work done in going from A to B? So work done in going from A to B is nothing but integral of PdV from A to B. So how we'll find integral of PdV? So you can look at this one, and you know that temperature is constant, so it's coming outside, and it is just a function of volume then T, if T goes out. So 1 upon V to the power 1 by 3 can be easily integrated, and this is what you get for work done in process A to B. So that was the second thing that we had to find in part D of the question. And what else? Now what about the work done in going from B to C? So you know that B to C is an adiabatic process, and we can also say that it is an isentropic process, or S is constant, right? So for an adiabatic process, you know that delta Q is 0 and delta U is nothing but minus delta W, or we can say delta W is nothing but minus of delta U. And delta U, so we have the expression for U, so we just need to write U final and U initial, and S remains constant, right? Because it's an isentropic process. dq is 0, TdS is 0, so S is constant. So we can just use this, and we get work done as A upon n square. So there is A over here and n square over here, and 1 upon V to the power 4 will be there. So that's what from U we can directly get the work done as minus delta U BC, that is A by n square S to the power 7 VB to the power 4 minus S to the power 7 VC to the power 4. This is what we get as work done. Okay, and now what we can do, we know that it's an isentropic process, so we can just substitute S in terms of other variables, in terms of volume and temperature. Okay, and in this expression you can see S can be substituted using volume and temperature. The first expression, T is equal to 7as to the power 6 upon V to the power 4 n square. So we can just take S from this and substitute S either in terms of VB and VB, or we can also substitute in terms of VCTC or VBTB. It's up to us, because both expressions are equivalent, alright, because it's an isentropic process. So if you make that substitution and you put that in WBC, finally you get this result. WBC is A upon n square, and this complicated thing, I don't want to say the whole thing. This is what you get as work done for the process B to C. So that was the solution for INPHO problem 1 2020, and I hope you liked the video solution. And if you did like the video, please do subscribe to my channel if you have not already subscribed, and do share it with your friends, those friends who are preparing for Olympiads and who might find this video useful, or they're preparing for JEE. So please do share this video with your peers, and do give it a thumbs up. So that's all for this video, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.